Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Soft Power Project. Today, I'm so excited to share with you something I've been preparing for a very, very long time. And I'm going to have a little story right after that. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, I'm going to have my first on site and in person event. It's so exciting. It's going to be in New York City on June 20th at 10 a.m. in the morning. It's going to be a 3.5 hour event. And it's basically an event where I wanted to bring this intimate conversation, this safe space that we created online to offline. And I will be serving as a facilitator and guide throughout the event. I want you to come to feel like there is a story arc to it. So the theme itself is called Coming Home to Yourself. But before we think about what does that mean, what do we want, I think we need to ask ourselves, what do we don't want? So what is the thing that we wanted to unmask today? So we're going to start with the release. What are we unmasking today? And with that question, we get to experience face yoga that's hosted by Teja, founder of Butter Be Kind. We carry so much on our face. The smile, people please, and performance. Even when we don't really know it, we just kind of do this subconsciously every single day. And this is a really safe space that I wanted to create for you to learn how to shed, unmask, even just one thing. And with the face yoga, we really get to reflect on what's holding, what's in our forehead. And, I frown a lot, like without even noticing. So like, what's there? What's the stress there? What's on our cheek? Do we smile when we don't really want to? So we get to really reflect on that question. And the second chapter that we're going to walk into together is listen. What does our body want? And how do we even listen to our body? I think it's so easy to say, listen to our body. We all know that. But how? And what does it really mean to really nourish our body? Because I think most of the time we grab things that's convenient. We eat things that we know how to make. We don't really try to, go outside of the box or think too much because we just wanted to get through the day. But with that session, it's going to be hosted by Tammy by Everglo Wellness. She's going to teach us about nutrition and how to build something that's convenient, sustainable, and actually healthy for our body. And last but not least, we're going to talk about embody. What do we want it to embody that day after the shedding, after the listening? What is it that we want to embody that day? And we're going to experience boxing together, which is taught by Bella. She's going to be our instructor and she's a badass stunt woman. And I'm so excited. I actually experienced boxing last year and I absolutely loved it. I think there's so much toughness outside, but there's a lot inside. There's a lot of training on focus. You really do have to understand your body really well in order to do boxing. So I think that's a really wonderful activity. Especially, I know for a lot of you girls are just badass women. So I thought boxing is going to be a wonderful ending to the event. And yeah, I am so excited to bring this to you. I'm going to keep the workshop as intimate as possible. So the seats is very, very limited. And actually, I'm going to offer you early bird special price. I'm going to put all the information in the description box below. So go ahead and click on that, signed up right away. And on top of that, actually, there are some surprises. If you're watching from YouTube, I am holding up this customized tote bag. It's beautiful. I handpicked it myself. Of course, I had some help, which I will tell you later. And yeah, it actually comes with a little pouch, a coin pouch that says, carry only what's yours. I honestly really love this phrase because I have to remind myself every single day. So yeah, this tote has, pockets outside, pockets on the side, pockets inside. It is absolutely wonderful and it's sturdy. And then we're going to have some goodies inside as well. And the goodies inside will include singing bowl, skincare from Butter Be Kind, and many other little things as well. So the goodie bag itself is valued as at least $100. And yeah, but I wanted to bring this to you. So whoever purchased the tickets, you're going to get a goodie bag. All right. So I just really wanted to talk about how this is literally impossible without all the women in this community. And that's why I really wanted to make sure this community happens by just hosting more of these on-site events. When I first started Soft Power Project, I was really craving for women's voice and women's sharing and stories, especially those really honest stories about their struggles and what they have learned and what they're still learning. Because I think with social media, you get to see like a clips of their lives, the struggle, someone's crying, and then you have someone like, biking or running at the beach, feels like everything's perfect now. But most of our lives, it's somewhere in between or something that cycles throughout, we had pivots all the time. And I just feel like I really crave that conversation, just really honest conversation. And I was a high achieving individual, if I can say that, or high functioning individual. And I was surrounded by a lot of high functioning women around me. And what we don't normally talk about is some hard stuff because, again, it takes a lot of vulnerability and confidence, like self-trust in a way that you get to talk about something really uncomfortable. And I didn't really have much at the time. So I started Soft Power Project and I didn't really know who wanted to be on my show. And I started to ask people online, offline. And from that point on, now I think we have 80 something episodes and I have probably interviewed 60 women so far. It's been an incredible journey. And to be honest, I still have a lot of guests who wanted to be on the show. And I honestly cannot believe it. I am incredibly grateful. And what's one great thing about that, I have to say, is that every single time I talk to a guest, we start chatting or we have these like pre-recording sessions. We get to just go straight into the tough talk, the real talk. We skip the small talk altogether. And that felt so good. We talk about the hard stuff, the struggle and where we're at. And we're so honest about where we're at. Sometimes we just, we're still struggling and we're still figuring it out. And I think it's that honesty that brings so much calmness and just brings that curiosity in life. And I know I wanted to create that offsite. And in addition to that, some of you may have known I was in the beauty and wellness industry for a few years before I ended that job. And I went to a lot of different conferences, events. And I would say I've been to, a lot of events where they had a lot of different workshops and it's all wellness related. But I've only experienced for a few times where I actually walked away, remember what it was, or had something shift inside of me. And I think what was lacking is that rarely there was something that stringed together all these different workshops. So you kind of felt like you're just kind of going to different workshop individually. And they're all completely independent from each other. But the thing is, they're not, because whatever that we wanted to accomplish that day, it is interconnected. So I knew I wanted to do something. Not only I bring the safe space to you, but I also wanted to do something that I do all the time as a facilitator and coach, to string them together and offer these space for reflection and space for honest conversation. So I started to really manifest this event last year when I started Soft Power Project. I always knew that I wanted to do a Soft Power Summit. I had no idea where or when or how, but I just knew that I wanted to do it. And I was talking to my friend Teja, and she lives in New York City, and she was asking me early this year if I wanted to do an event or come to New York. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let me give it a try again. And yeah, I decided to just make it happen. And thanks to Teja, she has been really helping me with the venue and sorting out all these different pieces. And I'm just incredibly grateful because she is an entrepreneur. She's kicking butt in her business and she's so incredibly busy, but she's still helping me to do this. And I thought that, okay, I have face yoga with Teja. So who else can I ask to do this? Because I needed women to just kind of volunteer and help out and to believe in this cause. And I asked Tammy, and she's from Everglo Wellness, and she's just incredibly sweet. And she has been teaching for many, many years. So I thought she would be absolutely wonderful to do this. And yeah, she's willing to help me out and believed in this cause. So I'm incredibly grateful. As for Bella, actually, before I decided on the event, I think I was talking to her about something else, and we just met online, by the way. I met many wonderful friends for the past years online. I was talking to her, we were sharing our struggle and, our life pivots. And she talked about being a stunt woman, and I actually seen her boxing online. So I just decided to, hey, would you like to come and teach this in New York City? And she lives in California, by the way. And she immediately said yes, because she said the day before our conversation, she was actually just manifesting or just talking to her friends about coming to New York or being in New York. And the day after, I actually asked her about this event. So everything kind of clicks. But I am just incredibly grateful for all these women in the community willing to just believe in this cause. And so in addition to that, speaking of the tote bag, it didn't come very easily because I was asking for different friends for contact information of vendors. And I ended up asking a friend or someone that I worked with for a very long time. And her name is Daisy. So shout out to Daisy. She's been so incredibly sweet to help me to talk to vendors. And there was so much back and forth, a lot of information, misunderstanding, and finally get to this finished product, which I am incredibly proud of. Like, seriously, this is absolutely beautiful. So I just have to say, without this community, this will not happen. Oh, I haven't even mentioned there's going to be sponsors for the event. They cannot come to the event, but they're sponsoring. She's sponsoring the singing bowl, and I met her at the conference a couple of times before in my previous jobs. And also I have the beautiful Bianca from Soul and Subconscious. She was also on the podcast before. She's going to do a small recording. It's going to be as a surprise. So come to the event. You're going to experience that. It's going to create such a beautiful atmosphere with a recording. So yeah, I just have these beautiful women that participated in Soft Power Project before and willing to just believed in me and believed in this, believed in soft power. So I honestly cannot wait to bring this to you, and I truly, truly hope that you enjoyed this. So now, if you cannot come, please share with a friend. I love you to spread the word for me. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, check out the link below and the coupon code. I really, really hope to see you guys there, and I cannot wait. So talk to you guys next time. I'll see you then. Bye.